Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Legacy of the Divine Tarot by Cyril Marchetti. Website is llewellyn.com here at the bottom. Another current website I've seen in another one of his boxes is usgamesinc.com, so feel free to check that out too if you want to. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by... where are you? Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen Raish Baskin. Websites on the back here, torihartman.com, watkinspublishing.co.uk, or watkinspublishing.com. Feel free to check any of that out if you want to. Okay. What do we have for Capricorn? Let's get them all out here first. What is going on? Like, what is going on? Is somebody like ditching out for something else? I have a feeling this whole thing is going to go a lot better for you, but it doesn't feel that way at first. I think somebody's ditching out. Not to shortcut it, but I think that's what we're ending up with. I'm seeing some cards over here. There's stress. There's the Eight of Cups. What do we got? You got Strength and the Page of Cups. The Lover is the Emperor, and I'm noticing this. Like, somebody's leaving for something else. I don't know. Somebody's just not working well with you is what I'm getting. They're leaving. I feel like to them it's very stressful, whatever the situation is that they're connected with you in. They're very stressed, so they're going on to something else, and they're finding something else that makes them happy. That's the short answer. But more about how it's affecting you. Like, that's the overall what's happening. Like, there's something about this that they're not leaving it on the best of terms. They've been holding it together for the longest time, but I feel like this isn't really that big of a surprise. Because I feel like there's been problems the whole way along. So if this is work or a relationship or a friendship or whatever you got going on here, there's been some struggles along the way and trying to hold it together. Every now and then there's some conflict, but at this point it's kind of like they've decided, you know what, this isn't working for me. And they've decided to pick up and go. And I feel like the way they're leaving this, it's not... I just don't feel like it's the best. They're just picking up and going. They're just picking up and going. They're just deciding this is better for them. I have to do what's right for me. I'm going to move on. Capricorn will just have to figure out their own stuff. They're just going. Right, wrong, or indifferent, they're just going. It's the way that they're leaving. It just feels like it's leaving a lot of loose ends, a lot of unfinished business, a lot of questions unanswered. And I don't know. It's a weird energy here because you got the King of Cups with the Two of Wands right in the center, kind of like. At first, I just feel like I'm a little shell-shocked, to be fair. I'm a little shell-shocked, and maybe I'm in disbelief a little bit. There's I got 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other. Like, I feel like it's a good thing, but I also feel like it's a bad thing. I feel like I'm shell-shocked. I also get this Three of Swords here. Like, this... I don't like the way it's ending. Like there's loose ends here that just does not feel right to me. When it first happens, I feel like I'm a little shell-shocked and I'm not thinking about all the loose ends. I feel like I'm figuring that out as time goes by. Like after a couple days pass, I'm like, like they just picked up and left. It's kind of like They didn't pay the rent. They didn't clean up their stuff. They didn't even pack their stuff. They just took the clothes on their back and they're gone. They're like, they just chalk that up as a loss and they just ditched. They didn't come back for their stuff or anything. They're not coming back, and that's it. And it kind of like, I think that's the part that's shell shocking me, because that's the analogy I'm getting. It's kind of like somebody's moving or they're leaving, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, they have to come back and get their stuff, and they don't come back and get their stuff. They're just kind of like, well, I'll get new stuff, and that's it. That's how they handle it. That's literally just how they handle it. It feels like that, or maybe it's like, for example, I'm trying to think of like if I was like, maybe they took their favorite clothes, maybe they took their wallet, anything of value to them they already had out of the house. You just didn't realize it. But say they had a couple pieces of furniture that were theirs. There were some blankets, there was some clothes, maybe there's some jewelry or something they wear, some stuff in the attic that's theirs. We're just saying if it was a house. And they already decided before they even made this decision that they were just going to leave that stuff. It just didn't matter enough. Anything of importance, any clothes, jewelry, money, anything, documentation that they needed, they took with them that day, or already had it set to the side so that they didn't have to come back. When they informed you they were done, they already had that stuff taken care of. So I feel like I am a little shell shocked when this happens, because I'm like, oh wow, they're literally not coming back for any of this stuff. Because it's really fast. Like the Eight of Wands is coming in. Can I get anything else with that Eight of Wands? Because I feel like it's like a dead end. It's like done. Ace of Swords and the Temperance. I feel like there's communication. You were probably the one trying to make the communication. Ace of Swords comes up in the dice, but it also comes up in what you're trying to do. You're kind of like, all right, you're going, that's fine, but can we just tie up these loose ends? And I don't think you're getting any response. I don't really feel like you're getting any response. Maybe you are, but I'm not feeling it. If you're getting any response, it's so lackluster. It's just kind of like, if you're getting a response, it's not solving any of the loose ends. It's not tying up any loose ends. It's not whatever you want to say. It's not resulting in anything that's of value here. It's just kind of like, maybe they're technically responding to you, but you're getting nothing out of it, or not enough to really count it as something. It just feels very minimal. They're going on. The discovery with the service on theirs, they're going on. Like, they're just done. They're done. They're just really done. It doesn't take you long to accept it. It just takes you a minute to really make peace with it. That seems weird. Like, accept it in the sense of like, well, it happened, it's done. You seem to understand, like, accept it in the sense of like, well, that's what they're doing, that's what they're doing. Making peace with it in the sense of like, all right, the making peace with it side, I'm seeing more as like, all right, if they're not going to clean up these loose ends, I am, because I still live in this house, and I'm not going to have their crap. So I'm going to let them know, if you want your stuff, you better come get it. Otherwise, it's going in the garbage. Because you said you're done. So I'm going through the house, getting everything that's yours. I'll put it over here on the side for 1 week. When the garbage day comes around, it's going in the garbage. So either you get it or the garbage man gets it. Your choice. Because I'm like, I'm not holding these things. And I don't know, it seems like that's not a problem, or maybe you're not putting it in the garbage, maybe you know a relative of theirs or something like that, and you're just kind of like, here, you can take it. It's all out here, it's in the garage, all here in the garage, take it all, because whatever you don't take is going in the garbage. When the garbage day comes, it's going with the garbage, whatever's left. That part, like, the loose ends takes you a minute to make peace with. I know Capricorn is kind of like, you're not going to do anything you don't think is your responsibility to do. I get that. But on the other hand, I also see kind of like, well, if it's done, then let it be done. So when I'm feeling Capricorn energy, and this might be an empowering moment, looking at the situation in the sense of like, see, this is the part making peace with it. You accept that they're not coming back. I feel like you accept that, you get that. But making peace with it, kind of like, all right, this isn't my stuff throughout this house. Half of this house, or whatever, there's stuff that's not my stuff. I shouldn't have to deal with it. True. But if they're not coming back, I mean, it's just, If they're not coming back and they've given up on that stuff, and it's just you're going blue in the face trying to get them to handle their own stuff, and they're just not going to do it, you could just let it sit there and let it drive you crazy, because that's what it'll do. Or you can collect it and get rid of it and just make it like a final, like that's the seal on the situation. That's the end of the book. That's putting the book on the shelf. That's solving it and moving on. Like if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to go through the house and find all their stuff and get rid of all their stuff, that is a complete ending. That is a final ending. It's kind of like, instead of letting it bother you and driving you crazy, it's just kind of like, all right, you don't want to be a part of this anymore. I don't want you to be a part of this either. So let me go through every room, find what's yours, and it's gonna go out there. You got 1 week. Either somebody comes to pick it up for you, or it goes in the trash. One of the two. In the sense of like, I need to solve this for myself. I need to clean this out for myself. I need to get, it's like a nasty wound, and I need to clean it out. The sooner I clean it out, it's a horrible, gross thing to take care of, and it's painful. But once it's cleaned out, it can actually start healing correctly. I have to clean out the refuse. I have to get rid of what's not working here. I got to get rid of the garbage. It's basically looking at what's left over by this person as garbage, and it's got to be cleaned up so I can move on from it. I can definitely understand kind of like, that's not my responsibility. I shouldn't have to take care of their stuff, and completely agree with that. But it's still going to drive you nuts if it's just sitting there, especially if they're not going to take responsibility and do something with it. So, is there any other advice I can give for that? Ten of Swords and the Chariot card. You're really upset about this, and it's kind of like, I shouldn't be held. I don't like being stuck holding the bag, and I feel like that's a big thing, and I get that. The thing is, they're not coming back. And the longer it sits there, it's just going to upset you. You don't have to be nice about getting rid of stuff. I'm not saying you should be, and I'm not saying you should propagate a negative energy. I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just saying you don't have to be happy about it. But what I do see is, once you do clean up the loose ends, once you tie up those loose ends, things go back to normal for you. You get to do what you want again, and it frees you. It frees you from it. You're not going to like it. You're going to think about it every now and then, but you're also going to realize that you're free from it. That energy will have left. Once these little loose ends, once you tie up whatever these loose ends are, even though it's this other person's responsibility, I feel like I've sealed it up. I've locked it up. I've tied up the situation. I've put it away. It's over. It's completely over, and I can move on to better. It's very seamless, where I just kind of move into better energy. Things go a lot better for me. I don't feel like the situation's holding me down. I just feel like I let it go. And it is literally, those loose ends are just going to hang out there until somebody deals with them, and it doesn't look like the person who should be, it will. So it's either you can let it drive you nuts for years, or you could just get rid of it so you can move on from it. Just for your own, just as a gift to you. That's what I'm getting. I know you have to do what you think is right, and that's that. But hopefully this is giving some perspective to help you be happier. Hopefully. All right. I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.